And last but not least, I am happy to introduce our plenary for today, Ms. Joan McCormack. Not only are we lucky to have her speaking to all of us today about fostering learner independence and critical thinking on an EAP course, but also this afternoon on a workshop entitled Expressing Your Ideas in Your Own Words with Confidence. Joan had started as a teacher of drama French and history in Tokyo in 1981 and moved from this into English language teaching. As well as Japan, she's worked in Peru, Spain, and more recently Australia. She is currently working at the University of Reading as EAP lecturer and course director. Her main EAP interests focus on developing extended writing skills and developing learner autonomy, and co-authored Garnet Education's English for Academic Studies series, Extended Research and Writing Skills, which you'll find on your table. Each one of those on the table is a complimentary copy for you, so please take it home. She has also co-authored Speaking and Pronunciation from the same series. And a big thank you to her, and welcome to our plenary speaker, Ms. Joan McCormack.
Thank you, Tyson, for such a warm welcome. It's a very great pleasure to be here this morning. I've been talking to some of you already. Can you hear me at the back? Is that a little bit better? Okay. It's very exciting to be part of a conference which is having its debut, and hopefully will be one of many conferences. English Central have organised this opportunity for EAP teachers to get together and exchange ideas and form a community of practitioners, which I think is a very useful thing in terms of helping us with our professional development. And I hope today will be, as Tyson was saying, a time to network and get to know people, exchange ideas, and walk away with a few new ideas in terms of what we've been doing. I look forward to getting to know some of you during the day, especially during the wine and cheese session, when we'll also always be very relaxed and be able to talk a little bit more. Tyson mentioned that I come from the University of Reading. So I just want to adjust this. Is that okay still planned? If I get the right distance. Here. Okay. Yes, I can. That's fine. Thank you. Perfect. And it's not Is that all right now at the back still? Good, great. It's at the side, it's not obstructing people. So I've been at the University of Reading for about 14 years, working in the field of EAP. And Reading is one of the top 3 universities in the UK for developing in this field. Partly because there's been a lot of research done in the area, but also materials have been developed there over the years. And it's very much at the cutting edge in terms of what's happening in EAP. We do have a summer pre-sessional program, and we take on extra teachers during that time. We're always very interested in people coming from abroad to spend some time there. So if any of you professional people feel like you'd like to work on one of our summer courses, do please make an application at some stage. Right, so one of the areas that we focus on in Reading is this whole idea of learner independence, which we feel is a very important trend in terms of development of our international students, particularly as it's something that's very much required and expected at UK universities. I'm going to begin by looking a little bit at what's going on in UK universities, because we are preparing our EAP students in order to move into that field, and they need to be able to cope with what's expected there. I'll touch briefly on some of the influences in terms of putting learner independence as a central force, both at universities and in terms of English language teaching. And I'll look at how that's linked with critical thinking, because I think these two things go very much hand in hand. Then I look at a particular model that we've developed at the University of Reading in order to foster learner independence development in our students. And then ask some questions about the impact of the virtual environment. We're in a very fast changing world with all of the technology that's available. So I think that's something that we have to consider in terms of fostering learner independence. So looking first at some of the buzzwords that we find in UK universities, we have things like flexible delivery, flexible learning, and this has been partly a result of the potential that we have through electronic delivery of resources. It has meant that there's a much greater participation possible in terms of the type of students that can study. No longer do you need to have quite a lot of money and time to go to university and to devote full time there. In 1987, the number of students in UK universities, between 87 and 90, the number of students in UK universities doubled. And then in 1992, the polytechnical colleges, which traditionally focused more on skills developments and looking at vocations, they merged with the universities. And this meant there was a much greater eclectic mix of people from different educational backgrounds. Also, a lot more ethnic groups got involved in third level education. And this re-emphasised the importance of having a more flexible approach to both teaching and learning. In relation to this as well, the whole economic climate is changing to such an extent that no longer are people guaranteed jobs for life, as you all know, and there's a great emphasis on having transferable skills. And the universities have recognised this very fully, and they've asked students from first year right through to third year to think about the kinds of skills they're developing in certain areas and how they can be transferred into other fields and other areas. This is something that employers also look at. They're looking for this flexibility within the employees that they're taking on, because they know that the nature of the job that they initially start doing may change within only a few years. This reiterates the whole idea of lifelong learning, so that education is no longer something that you complete. Gone are the days when you complete your education and then move into a professional field. But this constant need to relearn new ways of doing things, it's had quite an impact on how things are being approached at the university. This possibility has both been driven and influenced by e-learning. E-learning is a tool which can be used to facilitate what we're already doing, but it also opens up huge potential for developing further in these fields. And ultimately, within the grander picture, if we are opening education in this way, we're having a democratization of education that has never been available before. In the past, places like Oxford and Cambridge were renowned as centres of education. But now, with the access to the internet, you have the wisdom of the crowd has become more to the fore. And nowadays, if you go to a lawyer or a doctor, you don't have to take his or her word for the expertise advice that they give you. You can go and find information yourself and make your own mind up about what's true in relation to your particular case. There's much more of a collaboration and a sharing of ideas, people relating personal experiences that was never available before. So all of this then is leading to kind of situation where learners, students, it's very important for them to be able to make decisions about their lives, about the skills that they have, about the direction that they want to take. So this whole idea, the concept of learner independence, I think, is more important than it ever has been. And it is something that we have to take on board when we're dealing with our international students.